Engaging. This side-by-side shows the difference between a basic catalog record and a high-fashion editorial. The ring on the left is flat and sterile. The one on the right uses dramatic shadows and velvet textures to meet the visual standards of magazines like Vogue. Photographing fine jewelry is a mechanical challenge. These objects are small. They act as perfect mirrors, reflecting everything in the room, and camera lenses often distort the sharp, straight lines of a gemstone. To solve these physical problems, creative directors don't look for a single perfect shot. They build an entire ecosystem of images to represent the product. The framework for a luxury campaign is a sequence of zooming out. It begins with microscopic technical detail and expands until it reaches a broader narrative. Executing this multi-layered strategy is what allows a photographer to take cold metal and stone and make it look like modern royalty. The process starts at the microscopic level. Photographers use a 100mm macro lens to get as close to the jewelry as the hardware allows. This extreme close-up of an emerald-cut diamond shows why that lens is necessary. You can see every facet and how the light disperses within the stone, which verifies the quality of the cut without any lens distortion. By using a shallow depth of field at f2.8, the photographer blurs the background textures. This forces your focus onto the sharp reflections on the metal and the precision of the engraving. This macro layer provides the technical proof. It establishes that the craftsmanship is perfect before the campaign moves into more abstract territory. Next, the camera pulls back. The jewelry is moved out of the macro void and placed into a physical environment. To create a sense of prestige, photographers use a studio setup with specific surfaces like marble, glass, and mirrors. Controlling how shadows and highlights interact with these premium materials creates the polished look of a brand campaign. Surrounding the product with these textures anchors it in a physical space. It shifts the viewer's focus from a single manufactured object to a broader setting of opulence. The third layer of scale introduces the human form, moving from the still life to an editorial model shot. Notice how the model's pose, with her hands framing her face, creates a synergy between her expression and the jewelry. The stillness of the pose allows the earrings and rings to remain the focal point. Photographers use cropped beauty shots of the neck and hands to keep the focus tight. This provides the intimacy of a human portrait without losing the detail of the product. Grounding the jewelry in a human context changes how it's perceived. It stops being a museum specimen and becomes something that can be worn. The final layer breaks away from static images entirely by introducing motion and environmental storytelling. Adding movement, like the slow billow of red satin, creates a sense of drama that a static photo cannot match. When light is engineered to hit the gemstones during this movement, it produces starburst flares. This sparkle is a specific visual cue used to signify high-fashion glamour. This dynamic layer blends traditional craftsmanship with a modern aesthetic, creating the opulent feel expected by premium fashion magazines. These 4 layers, macro, still life, editorial, and motion, form the architecture of the campaign, adding context to the product. For a luxury campaign to work, these shots must function in total synergy. No single image carries the brand alone. The physical materials, the gold and the diamonds, have a fixed value that stays the same regardless of the photography. The feeling of prestige is built by creative directors. They use scale and lighting to make these raw materials look like symbols of power. Next time you see a jewelry ad in Harper's Bazaar or Elle, you're looking at a deliberate visual strategy. Every layer of scale is working together to turn a product into a symbol of luxury.